Was too. What are
I
your
don't.
thoughts?
I wouldn't particularly say that I like the game, um, because the story accounts for so much of the game, and I don't like the story as much as I really wanted to. Gameplay wise, it's actually pretty solid. It does a lot of the things that the first game does really well, like it does them better.
Right.
Um, barring my one complaint about gameplay,
Oh.
that it's definitely pushing the limits of violence that I didn't ask it to do.
Yeah, there was a review or like a review quote unquote because they did it like fairly recently and they talked about that and it's like, man, I feel like you're just doing this just to like not make me like the game. And from what I remember, because I think I know the reason why I didn't get it, even though I have a PS4. It's because I remember the very first trailer or whatever that they put out like a million years ago for an E3, and it was when that character says Clipper, and then some dude just goes ham on some woman's arm with a hammer,
Oh yeah, that definitely still happens.
and I was like, yeah, that's unnecessary. Why would you ever show me this at a video game presentation? Yeah, I'm not buying your game. And that was kind of it for me.
That really that was
No,
it for you?
well, it's just because I don't want to do that. I don't want to play that game. I don't need that in my life. I'm good.
Interesting. I don't remember seeing that. The only things that I remember seeing about this game prior to its release was the little party thing that they did at the PlayStation event. Um, and then the only other thing I can think of prior to the game actually like getting ready to come out
Right.
was the little cinematic they made of Ellie like playing the guitar.
Right. Yes.
And even in that cinematic, she looked punished.
Punished Ellie.
So I felt yes. So I felt like that was the direction we were going in. That's what I wanted. I wanted punished Ellie.
You wanted Kojima Last of Us.
Well,
Last
no,
last
I didn't say
last of
that.
Kojima.
No, I didn't say that because I I know enough about Death Stranding to know
Uh,
that I don't want Kojima anything.
hey man, when you really think
I'm
about it,
good.
Last of Us 2 is just a delivery game. You just don't deliver your revenge at the end.
No, no thanks on the Kojima flavor.
Oh.
Um, no, but like that clip alone. Now, Joel was in the clip, so she couldn't possibly be as punished as she looked if Joel was alive. But at the time, I was just like, hell yeah, you know? Uh-oh.
We are
No, I'm just kidding.
professionals, goddammit.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a professional.
Oh,
This is my
okay.
first
Oh, well, then I'm not gonna front. I just started
game.
my webcam.
No need to pretend. Good lord. I don't even have a webcam.
Oh,
So, what you
okay.
gonna do?
Well,
What you
there's
gonna
not a lot's
do?
gonna be happening. That's for sure.
That's right. I'm just gonna be sitting here staring at the screen, trying not to put on Gundam videos because those are just so fun to
No
watch. Now, anyway,
movies. No movies while we podcast.
I didn't say anything about the movie. Watch the movie later. So, those are the only two things I saw leading up to the game that got me interested because punished Ellie is what I wanted. Because Joel was punished, but he was like relieved of
That
his
was like
punishment.
that was more like self punished, I guess.
That's part of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Most of the pain you go through is pain that you give onto yourself. So Joel was punished because it had been 20 years after his daughter died.
Right.
And so 20 years of being a bad person is really bad. you know,
And then you
that
gotta
really
take
messes
care of
up your
this new
karma.
one.
Yeah. So he was punishing himself for all that time, and he should have been. He was a bad person. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
Ellie came along, and they sort of healed each other. I felt like
Mhm. Mhm.
in a lot of ways. And then so the ending comes off like I understand why he did that. I don't think I would have chosen to
I
do that.
think everyone I've ever heard that played that first game has all majority said, "I get it, but that was a really really bad move."
Yeah,
Like
but
world wise. Like
but I think that's understandable. Like, and
no,
then
yeah, yeah.
that's like the point. So I was fine with that being the end of that story.
It was a
But
good conclusion. It was just a bad moral decision.
yeah, and I think everyone agrees. Yeah,
And
they would not do.
I do actually have a question about the second game, as of never
Oh yeah.
playing it. So, because I spoilers, spoiler alert for this thing. That's a like if you any to any people within the sound of my voice in the past, future, or present, if you haven't beaten the game, get over it. We're about to talk about it.
We're gonna talk about the game. If you haven't beaten The Last of Us 2, where have you been since 2013?
Yeah,
Or The Last of Us 1, excuse me.
that's fine.
Where have you been since 2013?
And so my question is, at the beginning, when that group, when Abby's group jumps Joel,
Hmm.
they did that because of the Firefly stuff, right? Not because
Yeah.
he was like a bandit.
No,
Okay,
no.
that's what I thought.
You don't go like this. You don't travel like, you know, with a
Were
full
they all
gang.
Fireflies or something? Like, what was that? What
I
were
think it's
they?
safe to assume that they're all ex-Fireflies.
Oh, you don't even know.
Well, some people you don't dig deep enough into their character to learn
Okay, fair.
what their connection was. It's very possible that some of the people in the group were just real good friends of Abby and
They were on the ride.
yeah. With
That's
some people you meet like that, man. Some people you meet and they're like, "Yeah, I'll kill somebody with you even though we've only known each other for a year." You know, like it's like, "Oh,
and
okay."
nobody went. Maybe you killed him a little too hard.
I mean, I think I think most of the people actually this is discovered or explored in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of the people who went on the trip afterwards were like, "Man, I
That was not
really
cool.
I kind of didn't want to do that."
Yeah,
Didn't feel
weird.
good afterwards.
Weird how after the fact, when you think about, oh man, I just watched the leader of my community bash some dude's head in with a golf club for like an hour and a half. Yeah, that doesn't feel great, does it? Oh, and then some tiny girl comes in and says, "Oh my God, what have you done? How could you do this?"
Well, it's even worse than that. Ellie shows up while they're still doing it.
Ugh.
So it's actually kind of hard to like. I don't think they were planning on stopping, and I mean Abby. It's really all about Abby.
Yeah, like
Um,
shitty
I don't
person.
think they were planning on stopping when Ellie bursted in, but after she had come in and caused a commotion, they were like, "All right, let's just
We gotta go.
finish." Yeah, so I would say most of the people, at least the people with a good moral compass on their side, Abby's side, they weren't very, they didn't feel very good about, what they were a part of.
Which is the correct feeling in that situation, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, look, as much as revenge is supposed to be,
Cathartic.
sweet, yeah, it's a lie. Like revenge is bad. Like
Every
100%.
every story that ever involves revenge either doesn't end well for the revenger, or they realize too late and they've already done it, and it's just like I feel like there's just not enough lessons to keep doing revenge stories like this.
No, you have to wrap it up. And the way to end the cycle of violence, which I want to start using that term early because that's something that you can get from this game a
Yeah,
lot, is
yeah.
this endless cycle of violence. The way to end the violence is to stop being violent. The way to end it is to just stop.
It-
And it takes too long for anyone to stop. And you know what? I don't want Ellie to stop. I didn't want
nah.
her to stop in the story. I didn't want her to stop. Like Abby stopping the violence by letting her live. She let Tommy and Ellie live after killing Joel.
Right, I remember because there's another story event that happens where like they meet up a second time and Abby beats them like in a fight,
Mhm.
and
Yep.
then she just walks away.
Yep. She does it again.
It's like, did you learn nothing from this?
Yeah, kill him, right?
How did a character who took revenge in front of her, in front of the people that she's just beat up, not think, wow, they really came all the way out here, huh? That's kind of crazy.
Well, there's a lot of elements that come into play with her letting them go again. Um, it's stopping the cycle of violence again. She's viewing herself as being like merciful and like, being the bigger person.
Mm-mm.
But here's where that idea gets muddy, and here's where like I said before, I didn't subscribe to that. I didn't ask for that. I never wanted to play as Abby. Let's start there.
Right. Yeah.
The game
I
made
okay.
you that
So
very early.
so to say this, the one of the reviews that I listened to, or just the one really, the guy was talking about how he didn't really like or respect the fact that when game journalists or like reviewers talked about the game, they weren't allowed to talk about the fact that you played as Abby.
Yeah, I
Like they
heard
just
something
weren't they
like
weren't
that too.
allowed to talk about it, which really kind of like
It doesn't make any sense.
it kind of skewed the opinion of that game. I imagine a good bit.
That's half the game removed.
Mm.
Like honestly, that's 12 hours of game taken out.
You can't talk about the ending and you can't talk about the other half of the game. It's kind of like a crazy thing to ask reviewers and journalists to not do.
I think that's like kind of a side tangent. Honestly, it's like game journalism or game reviewing
Mhm.
itself is messed up because the studios and the creatives, they get on it and they're like, so you can do this, this, and this, but it's like, well, what about all these other elements of the game that you said we could play, that we're in the game, we're all excited to get into that. So they're like, well, no, we want a good review, so you can only review this stuff, and then we get a good review. And that's why people don't like IGN anymore, because
It didn't
IGN,
help that dude stole that Dead Cells review, but whatever.
there's a lot. There's a lot.
There's a lot there.
Game reviewing is kind of in a bad spot right now,
I've
and
really stopped paying attention to a lot of game reviews outside of like podcast personalities talking about
yeah, just
games.
listening to somebody talk about the game,
It's
someone who
very
is not
different than
paid.
like there's a podcast that I listen to called the Giant Bombcast, and those people are all game reviewers, like professionally, but they also just
Okay.
have a podcast where they just talk about stuff that they played and all that. And they have a thing that they do at the end of the year, which I'm looking forward to because it's coming up. Is they do the like games of the year, and it's 5 every day. A new podcast comes out that's stupid long, every single one, because there's just them arguing and talking like about placements of games on like their website's top 10 list. It's really good conversation, and some of those arguments are really annoying to listen to because the person can just be abjectly wrong but hard-headed.
Oh no.
And it's oh my god, I don't want well, because one person talked about God of War and was like they didn't like the portrayal of some of the characters, and what they said wasn't great because it
Ah,
didn't
well, okay. I was gonna say I could get behind that critique, but
yeah.
if their version of it is not a version that is worth supporting, then I don't want to say anything.
They just didn't want it on a certain spot on the list because they didn't like the portrayal of like of the Valkyries or the fact that you killed them to free them from their corruption.
Yeah, that's pretty whack, if we're being honest.
Yeah, it was a weird take to come out of nowhere, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about like removing it from.
They didn't remove it; they just wanted it lower than something
Yeah, no,
else, even though
I know, but I mean,
it was
in their
clearly
mind.
better.
I mean, like in their mind. I don't know about
Mm,
changing its position based on that by itself.
right.
Because when I was thinking about portrayal of characters, I was thinking about the characters that matter in the story. Um, which I think there are a few that could just use some work. But needing some work and being like flawed to the point where you're gonna lower the game's placement on a list,
Mhm.
that's like Last of Us Part Two levels, and I
Yeah,
don't think God of War is like that.
good shit. Like yeah, good one.
I don't think God of War has the same issues that The Last of Us Part Two has.
Yeah. Well, okay, so but I do know that Ellie does some really bad stuff throughout that game, right? Like she gets pretty bad with it.
Not enough.
Not enough. Okay.
Not enough bad stuff. And then this is like why I'm on this podcast in the first place. I want to talk about revenge stories and the gravity of good revenge. Like I feel like either the people who are writing this don't know or care enough about revenge to think deeply into, you know, what you can do with the story.
Right.
Because there was a really nice, easy laid out idea in my mind. for this story
Mm-hmm.
that they didn't. They just chose not to follow.
What do you
Whether
mean?
they did that because they thought people have done it before, or if they avoided it because they thought, well, we can do something better, and they were wrong. Um, in my mind, from when I found out that Joel died in the game, which I had a feeling that he would die before I even saw it. Um, in my mind, it was simple. You know, Ellie goes after her revenge, and along the journey, she does increasingly more and more toxic things.
Right.
And then at the end, she becomes this character that neither her, original self, or herself that she views to be true, or you know, a partner, someone she's in a relationship with, or a real close friend, or Tommy, or Joel would recognize.
Right.
After
Okay.
all the stuff I wanted, that's the type of punishment that one receives for going after their revenge. And then at the end, you either die like after you get your revenge, like it's a trade. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you stabbed them in the heart and they shot you, so now you're both gonna die.
You
Fuck
close the cycle.
yeah. There's an ending. No more revenge, no more killing. And I'm dying, so it doesn't matter. I won.
Right.
Or you, the person with the rage, you stop it. You get to that final point where you can really just end it all, and then you go, I quit. I give up. You change your mind.
I don't know. There's something about like the changing of their mind in the moment that I really don't like story wise.
I'm glad you brought that up because I have more to say.
Okay.
Changing one's mind in the moment, it's not a flip of the switch action. It's something that, as the writer, you have to forecast.
You got to plant the seeds of doubt.
Yeah, exactly. So while the story is continuing, you have to give reason for all the characters that I just thought up. The side characters, the girlfriend character, the best friend, the
Mm-hmm.
Tommy, Joel, being the last straw. Um, you want to put those moments in the game where those characters see you A, torturing yourself, or B, they see you doing some really inhumane things. And they're like, what? Like like who are you becoming?
Listen, I
And
didn't sign up for this. We wanted the one person. We don't need all these people.
right, you didn't have to cut off all these guys' hands and feet. Like, what are you doing? You know?
Yeah, that's also weird, Ellie. Damn.
That's just cruel. Like for
Ellie,
no reason.
what?
And then you made them walk back home. I don't understand. That's
El-
just cruel for no reason, Ellie.
elbows and knees across the city.
Yeah, like now we know which direction their home base is. Like Ellie, that's not a good reason to cut them up. So basically, you can easily put the different, you know, seeds of doubt within the story from each of those characters that I mentioned, and then at the end, well, honestly, to make it more impactful throughout the story, you can give little, tastes of Joel. So you think to yourself, Joel wouldn't want this, you know?
I do have a question because I remembered, maybe I'm wrong about what I read. So isn't there a point where after she and her and Tommy, right? They fought Abby and they lost. Didn't they stop for a little bit? Like didn't they stop chasing after Abby?
So after, and this is something I think is very important to put in the podcast. After you play as Abby against Ellie,
Yes.
you do a little boss fight against Ellie, who originally you wanted to get revenge, but now you have to stop your
Oh, that
own.
sounds like it's an awful way to like frame that. You're playing as yeah, that'd
Yeah,
be
you play.
weird to make the player lose the fight as the character they're playing
Yep.
as.
Yep.
That's weird. I don't like that.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of, we could talk about that next, but
That should
there's a
have
lot
just
of,
been. They should have just like detached the camera from that whole fight and then let the like you just have to watch.
Honestly, if it was a cinematic, I think that would have been pretty whack. But maybe if it switched back and forth,
Yeah. Oh, like a Detroit.
yeah, like I'm playing as Abby, and then I beat the first encounter, switch to Ellie, beat the second, switch to and like yeah. So we could talk about gameplay in a moment,
Hmm.
but there are a lot of elements in the game, or a lot of scenes in the game, where they force you to do things that you would otherwise choose not to do, most likely. Like
Yeah,
things
it's
that you
so
don't want
weird.
to.
I am so well. Actually, before we get off to that, did they stop? Did Abby and Tommy or Ellie and Tommy actually like stop the revenge for a little bit?
Yeah, and that's what we're going to talk about now.
Oh,
We're
okay.
going to talk about gameplay stuff next.
Okay.
Um, so you play through half the game as Ellie, and then you play through another half as Abby, and then Abby wins the fight
Mm-hmm.
in a very, very total way. It was a pretty total victory,
Real.
which
Wow.
is so upsetting.
That's not great.
Uh,
That's not a good feeling at all.
there were moments where Ellie had a chance, and then there were other moments where you're like, she had none. Super upsetting. Yeah, and then
I
Abby says,
imagine in the physical aspect, she wasn't gonna win no matter what.
I know. Abby's built like
Like a
an ox.
tank.
They said in the game. They said like an ox, which is good. I like that
It
depiction
makes
of her.
sense. It must be so hard to keep that like level of fitness in the apocalypse.
Yo, we could talk about that very very quickly next, and then we'll
Okay.
move on to gameplay
Okay.
because I do have a lot to say about that. Okay, so she wins, and then she says, I don't want to ever see your face again." And then she takes her little tiny boy child friend, and they leave. And then
So weird.
Not Abby, Ellie and Dina, they go off to live in a house, and Dina has given birth to a child named JJ. And Tommy he is not the same man after this encounter. He received a bad injury to his back and I think his leg, so he has a limp. And he's
Oh.
also missing a freaking eye.
Oh.
So he's down for the count. There's no way he's getting anyone's revenge.
Yeah, that's fair.
But then he comes to Dina and Ellie's house, and he's like, I found out that she might be staying in Santa Barbara. And he brought this up looking the way he looks. Essentially
That's
to be
fucked
like,
up.
you're the only one who can get our revenge. And
Yo,
at this point,
Ellie.
Ellie's like,
Ellie,
she's
she
got
took my eye,
PTSD,
man.
right?
She stole it.
Ellie's got PTSD.
Yeah.
She lost, yo.
Yeah, they both lost. It was kind of
She
nuts.
lost. Yeah, they both lost. They had different encounters with Abby, and
Oh,
technically,
okay.
Tommy lost his first, technically.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, they
He's
both
on the ground.
lost.
I weakened her. I weakened her, Ellie. I
Yeah,
warmed her up
he's on
for
the
you.
ground. He's on the ground with the gun pointed at his head, like like I loosened her up for you. Um, so yeah, then Ellie can't shake, this feeling that she needs to do this, and then she goes out to get the revenge. Now we can return to that because we need to talk about the end of the game. We can return to that, but first,
Hmm.
let's talk about how some people I've encountered had said that it is unrealistic for Abby to have big muscles in the setting, but I'm confused at how that is the
I
case.
don't
Can
think
you
it's
enlighten me on that?
impossible. It'd be really, really hard to justify like your community of people. If you've got enough food, sure. But if you're kind of struggling a bit, and then you look around and you see one huge, stupid, jacked woman walking around, it's like, where's all the food going again? What's happening here? What's your calorie intake?
Okay, so I actually considered that because although her arms are quite big, she's got some good abs. It's not and a strong back.
Hmm.
She is not a Olympic bodybuilder. She's
Right,
not
right.
Arnold Schwarzenegger in the 80s.
Let
So I
me
feel like a lot of people are misinterpreting how muscle works and how one gains muscle.
let me look up a picture of Abby just so I'm getting a good perspective.
Yeah, please do. Matter of fact, maybe I can do it too. I don't want to mess up the recording, but
That's
I
fine.
want to look at.
Okay, I got a picture of her in the rain. Okay, that's not nearly as jacked as I was led to expect. Yeah,
There's a few-
that's not that bad.
dude.
I thought she was way
And
bigger.
she's not a gross muscle monster. She's buff. No joke. She's buff, but it's not so buff that it's unrealistic. Not in any way.
No,
Not
yeah.
to mention,
Okay, yeah, from what I remember, I think maybe in the preview, like in that one preview that I saw, maybe I remember her being a little bit bigger than that. But that's not nearly
you may
as
have been misled. It's possible. You may have been misled in
yeah,
some
that's
other
not
shit.
nearly when everyone talks about the character, they always go like that's usually a thing that you hear is how jacked Abby is. Yeah, that's not that jacked.
I mean, no.
That's
Don't misinterpret. This is jacked, but
uh,
it's not chiseled. There's two
it's
different
not
types.
shredded. It's not
Yes,
shredded. She's
exactly.
jacked, not shredded.
Exactly. This is
Fucking
what I want to get into, the actual differences in muscle growth, which is why I'm saying that I don't think people understand how you gain muscle. I don't think people understand how it works.
man,
Um,
I could get that big, no problem. I could
oh,
do
no problem.
that.
Now, it's not no problem, but you have to understand she's had 3 years to look like this. She
Okay.
had 3 years to do this basically every day. We can assume that she has worked out every day or almost every day for 3 years. And then you want to talk about the food problem, and which I think is a valid, a valid concern or critique or
Mhm.
pull, I guess. How does she get all that food? It's shown that she lives, it's shown in the game, which is something you probably didn't see.
Right.
It's shown in the game that she lives in a community that both has a gym where
Oh,
people are actively in the gym, and
okay.
they have a cafeteria where they can feed everyone
That's
every
pretty
day.
good. That's pretty good. I didn't know that.
If you have regular food every day, there is no reason why you can't build muscle. It's not going to stop you. Now, it might make it take a little longer, to breach certain levels of growth, but you can still do it.
I bet it's easy to find protein powder in the apocalypse. Nobody would want that stuff.
But you don't need it.
I know, but yeah,
But you don't, and yeah, probably because who's stealing that
who's
from
stealing protein powder?
the
Yo,
local vitamin shop?
yo,
Nobody.
man, when the apocalypse happens, let's go rob them GNCs.
Yeah, let's go rob GNC so we can be the most jacked dudes.
We'll get all the pills and supplements. We won't have to eat anything because we'll be supplementing it all with pills.
I wish I could show you.
I got iron for days. I can't even get shot. It just bounces right off.
I might be able to show you in Discord. Yeah,
Oh god.
this image that I found.
That's pretty good. I like that.
This is what people think Abby
Wait,
looks like.
wait, wait. That's just Senator Armstrong
It
from
100%
Revengeance.
is. Yes, that is just Senator Armstrong. That is what people think Abby looks like in the game, and that's not true.
That's fucking hilarious. That's funny. I like that.
Oh,
I like
oh,
how they gave him glasses to be Senator Armstrong. Like
yeah, they really could have left those out,
you
right?
really didn't need to do
said,
that.
"Nope." They said, "We want you to feel this meme, feel this joke."
That's fucking funny. I like that.
Um. Oh,
Oh wait, hold on. Let me do this. Let me just try to show it
apparently,
off for the people. Hold on.
apparently, there's a yeah. Go ahead. Apparently, there's a workout schedule for Abby in the game.
God. Oh, okay. I thought
Which,
you meant like yeah, this is
it's missable. It's a missable detail.
that
I
makes
think,
sense.
like, I in no way do I say that, you know, she shouldn't be this buff. In no way am I saying that. Not at all. Or B, that they needed to do more to show people her getting buff, because if you really pay attention, enough of the signs are there. There's a moment where she's with her boyfriend, and based on the last time you saw her, it's like a flashback.
Right.
Based on the last flashback where she was much smaller, you can see that her arms are already starting to get bigger.
Huh.
And then she proceeds to hoist him up almost with one arm over some like thing that they're trying to climb on, and he's impressed in game. And I feel
Damn.
like that's you, the player's key visual to go, oh, she getting strong.
Oh, she's getting really strong.
Yeah. And then the next times you see her, her arms are already at this level or whatever. No, she's impressive in a lot of ways, but she's not a bodybuilder. It's not the same
Right.
thing.
Yes. Okay. I was definitely I I got the impression she was a lot bigger than she actually is.
No, no.
Yeah.
And I don't have a problem with her. I think it's great that she's big because it offers a delicious contrast
To
to
Ellie.
Ellie's smallness. And Joel he was kind of like,
He kind of let it go.
well, he definitely let it go as far as this game is concerned. He's just getting old. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
He's getting old.
Yeah. How do
Um,
you feel, Abby? You just beat up an old man.
yeah, he's like in his 50s. You
See me when I was a bandit. I'd beat that ass.
But like in the first game, Joel was kind of he wasn't shown in the way that Abby is shown, but
Yeah.
he was sort of interpreted as being really strong. Which again, if he's been alive for 20 years, he has to be over a certain level of strength.
Yeah, in the apocalypse for sure.
To do the things that he's doing, yes, you have to be a certain level of strong. Everyone who is alive, who goes out actively, who survives, clickers and bloaters and the like,
There's a checklist.
you need to have a certain level of strength. So I don't like whenever characters are shown to be really small and they're doing all this stuff. It's like, yeah, but I need a little bit of curve from you
That's fair.
in the muscles. Just a little bit of bulge. You don't have to be buff like Abby. Nobody has to be buff like Abby.
We don't need
She's
another Armstrong. It's all good.
she's clearly going above and beyond. But that's the point. She's clearly going above and beyond. That's why she should win in a certain encounter, in a certain environmental space.
Yeah.
She should win.
And hand to
The
hand
first
with
time.
Ellie and Tommy and whoever else, yeah, she's gonna win.
Right. You should lose. Okay.
That's
It's
fair.
understandable.
That's
Yeah,
legit.
it's fair. See those arms? Yeah. I couldn't beat somebody that buff in real life,
No.
let alone in the apocalypse. No way. I don't have the edge. Are you kidding? So
That's why we got to rob those GNCs.
you're right. You're right. We're gonna be snorting that powder, boy. We're gonna be buff. We'll be picking up cars and shit.
We're gonna snort it, think we're strong, and then like just be on the floor convulsing.
Yeah, we're gonna have like an aneurysm. I'm thinking like one day, you want to be so buff that you can fight a clicker hand to hand.
Well, those things
Punch it.
have like the untapped human strength, right? Because they're
I
dead.
guess so. I guess so. I mean, they should all be super strong if you ask me. No. I take that back. The only ones that should be super strong should be the runners because they are.
Or the really big ones, the bloaters.
Yeah, but bloaters. I mean, even the name to me implies a level of obesity.
That's true.
And instead, the game is like, no, they're strong. Okay, if you say so. Anyway.
Yeah.
So Abby, we nipped the Abby thing in the bud, right? It's
Yeah.
not. She's not
It's
unrealistic.
not unreasonable to be what she is.
Right.
It's
There
fair.
could be other characters, or you can even have men in the game that are like, A, impressed with her strength, or B, they're like, damn, you stronger than me now.
Yeah.
Either or would have been good to have in the game. They didn't do anything to make you feel like you gained the muscle. So they didn't really get the players on board, I guess. Instead, a lot of these how do you say? A lot of these socially I'm trying to figure out the right word.
Yeah. I don't know what you're going for. I can't help you.
Oh, I got you. Don't worry. I got you, bro.
Okay.
A lot of these socially distant, let's say. Uh, video game people who play games all the time. They're not
Okay.
100%
I think
sure.
I think I get where you're going. Their perspective of.
Their perspective of women
Okay.
is off. Let's say.
I was gonna go. I would thought you were gonna go like the perspective of like physical strength on a character.
No, it's about women.
Okay.
It's definitely about women.
Okay.
Because a large part of the conversation is always like, why is she so big? Less how. And I think it's because they don't like buff women. I think they have an issue with.
Well, you see, there's actually a word. There's actually a word for those people. We call them cowards. And
Yeah.
listen,
exactly
listen. Hey man, there ain't nothing wrong with
Ain't
a lady
nothing wrong
that can
with
bench your weight. All right,
Hey,
it's cool. Hey
a lot
girl.
of women want to be thrown
So
around. Maybe I want to be thrown around. Maybe I want to get tossed a little bit. You don't know. You don't know
yeah,
what I'm
man.
doing.
Yeah, man. She-Hulk.
Yeah,
Heave ho.
She-Hulk. But
Heave
come
ho.
on.
There's actually a fighting game commentator named Yipes who he was commentating a match that had She-Hulk and they were talking about waifus for some reason and he was like, "Yeah, man, She-Hulk." He's from New York, so it made it even better. And he was like, "Yeah, man, heave ho me right to the bed."
Heave ho me right to the bed. Yeah,
Because in Ultimate Marvel 3, one of her voice lines for I think one of her throws is heave ho.
not heave ho.
It was, it was good. It was great.
I'm looking at a lot of pictures of real women with muscles now. Um,
Oh no, hey man, we gotta put that, we gotta stream that to a more Christian family site. It starts with a P. Got a very
who?
got a very iconic user or community video theme.
Community video theme. I mean, look, I'm looking for my own personal
Hey man, Pornhub.
research. No, Pornhub's canceled. Anyway,
No, what?
yeah, I'm looking for my own personal research because I want to see the differences in like
Oh, buff
build.
woman.
Kind of stuck on this one girl though.
Yeah.
She balances the line between, rippling bodybuilder and Abby weight.
Okay.
There are parts of her that I can tell Abby just didn't work on as hard. Like her thighs, for example, are not as big as this woman.
I'm fairly certain Abby would just wanted big arms.
And she got them. She also
got
got the abs and she got the back.
The back.
She's got a strong back for sure. She's got it all.
Back ain't that bad, and everybody's got a strong back to a certain degree.
That's not true.
I think isn't the back like the strongest muscle by default?
No. I think you're misinterpreting what I mean by strong back.
No,
and
I just mean in general.
honestly, I don't know.
Let me look that up. Let me bing this. Let me get them points.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. But my understanding, it would have to be your legs, but maybe your legs don't count because your knees, people lock their knees a lot, so they kind of pick up the slack there. I don't know.
Right. That's This is not what I wanted.
So you're wrong.
No,
Okay.
no, it's a bunch of weird answers. One's is it's the masseter, which is used for chewing. The others claim it to be the buttocks, or the rectus femoris, which is part of the quadricep.
I mean, the chewing one, I would give strong points to, since humans have we're like top 10, I think, strongest bite.
Really?
I think so.
That surprises me.
It's weird, dude. It's really weird when you think about it because there are a lot of animals obviously that can bite stronger than we can, but we have a stronger bite than majority of the Earth population.
So yeah, Last of Us 2.
Yes.
So the revenge stopped after the fight.
Right, and that is after you played halfway through as Ellie and halfway through as Abby.
And then Tommy shows up and is implies he wants Ellie to continue with the revenge.
Yes, and then her and Dina have a falling out, and Ellie can't move on. She doesn't know how to move on without getting revenge. So she does actually go and try to get it. Now, I think the last level is kind of fun because it offers...
You're doing what you wanted to do, which is punished Ellie. Right?
I mean, no.
Oh.
They took the wind out of my sails on that one a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
But the level itself, I just like the level. It's like the last level. It reminds me of the last level of Last of Us 1.
It's the cult camp, right?
No, well, it's another cult.
Oh, okay. Oh, there's two cults.
Well, I think they're a prison camp. I think they have slaves, but
okay,
that's different. That's a different kind of made up. They have a name, Rattlers or whatever. Stupid. Shit. Yeah, some stupid shit.
For some reason, they crucify people on the beach.
Come on, unnecessary.
It kind of yeah.
Like the fact that you have slaves is bad enough. Not to mention crucifying him on the beach. Ugh, just stop. Just stop.
So how did Abby get caught? Is my question.
Oh, well, she was looking for fireflies, which the fireflies have they've kind of grouped back together in various
Oh,
ways and places, and so I don't think they're getting back together to do anything. I think they just want to be,
community.
yeah,
Okay,
which is
that's fair.
it's what everyone should be doing. There
Yeah,
should be
pretty
no
much.
prisoners, there should be no cults, there should be no militias. Everyone should be just trying to live. I'm so sick and tired of humans going out of their way to cause other people pain. Literally just live. Leave everyone else alone. We have to deal with the zombies already. Leave me alone.
Now I gotta deal with you guys clipping people. Come on.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Anyway,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't I didn't do too much research on the cults or like the other enemy groups in that game, aside from like
okay.
seeing the names and then going, I don't know what that's about, but that whatever.
Yeah. So there's the three essentially. The Fireflies are from the first game, and they're
Right.
all disbanded, right? After Joel went on a massacre. Uh,
Strongest human being in that series in the universe for that 10 minutes.
I mean, not even that. Strongest person in that area,
Yeah.
in that whole building.
Listen, if one dude took out your entire group by himself after getting caught, maybe you should have not been around.
Even kill them all. He just killed a ton
He killed
and
a
then
lot.
left.
He killed a lot of people.
Like they could have killed him, right? Because there's way more Fireflies than there is one Joel. But he didn't give him the chance. He got away.
He got in and out.
So, um, so the Fireflies are disbanded. In this game, they do a good job, I think, of talking up, like in like notes that you find and like tagging and stuff and like environmental stuff. They do a good job of showing you, who's who in this game. They're like, we got to deal with the what are they called?
Exactly.
It's not. It's the people who took over after the Federation. Can't remember now. I can't remember now. Like that the game has erased it from my memory because of all this other shit I had to remember. The other group is called the Seraphites. I know that.
That's the cult.
Yeah, those are the cult.
Washington Liberation Front.
Yes, the Wolves. WLF. That's right.
That's what they're called.
Yeah, WLF.
Okay, that's pretty
Wolves.
good.
It's pretty good.
That one's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yo, man, the wolves are coming.
But they're just a militia, essentially.
Oh.
They're very military. Like the leadership does everything in a militaristic organization. Like they have barracks, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. Like they have a lot of things that are very militaristic. And the Fireflies were kind of like that too, but way less so.
Okay.
Way less.
So I did bring up a faction list. There's
good.
the Seraphites, the Rattlers, and then Jackson County.
So Jackson is where
Ellie's from, right?
Ellie,
That was the Joel base.
Yeah, but they're not anything. They're literally just trying to live.
Yeah, this was just on the list.
Yeah. Is that all you got? Is that the end of the list?
Pretty much. I think those
Okay.
are like the only ones that really matter. And the Washington Liberation Front's there, but we already said that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. That matters in the game. So they do a good job of talking up those two, the Seraphites and the Wolves. And then you have to deal with them on different fronts, and then they have to deal with each other after a certain point in the game. And that's something. That's some pressure. It's a pointless war that they go on. And you really have to ask yourself, who here wants to do this? Because if you want to do this, then you can stay here. But if you don't want to do this, let them kill each other. I'm not going. Are you crazy?
Yeah,
I'm not fucking going.
In terms of like wars within that universe, they seem pretty localized. So you could just live really far away and never deal with anybody.
Wait for them to leave, right? Like hide. Wait for the wolves to leave in one example. Because the wolves take the fight to the Seraphites, right?
Right.
So wait for the wolves to leave. Take as much shit as you need to take and get the fuck out of there.
So from what I'm understanding, the Washington Liberation Front, the Wolves, they're not inherently antagonistic?
Well, I think, and they don't do a good job of explaining this.
Right.
So this is mostly speculation from what I've encountered in the game. I think they started out with good intentions and, getting away from Fedra, which was the like government,
Yeah, yeah.
enlisted group. They destroyed Fedra. They took over Seattle from them,
Hmm.
and which was kind of a bunch of notes that I read throughout the game. And there was basically a war. They basically had a civil war doing that.
Oh, and then okay,
Um,
okay.
yeah, they destroyed a lot of Seattle fighting each other, but they won. So they're living in there, and then Scars is what they call the Seraphites. The Seraphites come through. I don't know what the Seraphites are supposed to be doing, but periodically they have skirmishes. They have
Their
scuffles.
their description in this is very limited. It's just that they're a devout group established by a now deceased religious fanatic.
So
They're just a
they're
cult, basically, from what I'm
yeah,
reading. So
yeah.
their goal is pretty much total conversion. So
Well, I guess that's what it is. I guess they're going out trying to get more people to join them.
that's generally what cults do as an end goal.
But here's the issue with that. In game, their leader is dead. And
Right.
so she's not the one telling them to do this. So they have people inside their group saying that this is what they need to be doing. Whereas everything you're taught about their leader doesn't seem like she would be down with the sickness. Seems like she would be like, hey, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh, really?
Stop killing people for no reason.
Oh, that's always how it goes. That sucks.
Because, like, when your group is supposed to be religious and you start stringing, like, hanging people and
Yeah.
cutting out their organs,
Yeah, it gets a little weird.
what's religious about that? We hung you and we cut out your innards. Why? What did I do to you?
People need to know. What?
What did I do to deserve that? Oh,
And
you're not one of us, obviously.
and from what I'm reading about the Rattlers, they are just end game enemies. It doesn't
Yeah,
seem they have
and
like any significance other than they're heavily armored and wear protective armor.
and they have machine rifles or whatever. They have like Uzis and shit. Okay.
Being so well equipped allows the Rattlers to keep both human and infected prisoners. What a
Yeah,
description. What a cool group.
they have. I mean, they could have been something interesting.
Yeah.
If you were to shape this game into three parts, they could have been the third part. Like enemy of the game. The game is kind of long though.
That's kind
Uh,
of what I'm kind of catching in terms of a feeling is that this game seems fairly long for what it is.
yeah, yeah. They definitely went as long as they could. It feels like with this one. I mean, they
Yeah.
doubled the length of time from the first game.
Oh, that's not inherently good, but
It's not inherently good, but it has potential to be good.
right.
And this game kind of squanders its potential, unfortunately.
All right, there it goes.
Yeah, this game kind of takes way too long. Like playing as Abby, it's too much. It's too much playing as Abby. There should be way more Ellie. Um, and there should be way less like cinematics. Holy crap.
Oh yeah, actually, let me put that in perspective. I'll go to YouTube and look up the cutscene movie.
Less cinematics. My God.
Oh my god.
Please enlighten me.
Well, I don't know if this is accurate. The Last of Us 2 all cutscenes, full movie HD, 10 hours.
Yeah, that feels like it could be true.
Let me rephrase that. 10 hours 57 minutes. So basically 11.
That feels like it could be true.
That's a
I could
lot.
get behind that.
But there's
Um,
I'm seeing a bunch of like other ones that are a lot shorter.
I don't know. I really can't tell you because I played the game, so I was here for the full 30 hours,
Right.
I was in everything for 30 hours. So I don't know. But uh it's a long game that spends a lot of time on uh cinematics and stuff like that. But did I need it to spend that much time on that stuff? Not really. Not really. I mostly wanted to play as an angry Ellie, ripping and tearing her way across the country because it turns into and I'm kind of moving into the next segment a little bit,
Mhm.
but it turns the game from uh the Last of Us 1 story where you have a little fun trip across country to learn about each other and blah blah blah.
Right.
It basically is the direct opposite of that, where it's a journey of terror. you know
Yeah, I actually I never thought about it like that because in the first game it's take this girl to these people and then it's just like learning about each other along the way to get there. This is more like when you're playing as Ellie, it's more like I need to find this person and it's just a journey of her being really mad until you find them.
yeah, the story should have been
What's even
uh
Abby's goal? Why is she traveling? What are they doing?
so Abby has her own thing going on.
But what is it?
So after she kills Joel,
Right.
basically her journey is over, right? So you have to start a new story with Abby where she is looking for Owen, her childhood friend slash ex-boyfriend. She's looking
Okay.
for Owen. He's gone missing or something. He's got a pregnant girlfriend at the base. It's like let me try to exclude the fluff and just get straight to the actual story. So Abby, she goes off looking for Owen. She finds him. They have sex. Surprise sex scene. Um,
I heard that was very graphic, even for this.
graphic. I wouldn't use the word graphic. I could describe it better. Give me 1 sec.
Gratuitous?
So I'm kind of on the fence with that one too. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. We'll get deep into the sex scene. Don't worry.
Yeah,
We're
we
gonna
will.
get deep into the sex scene. Oh,
Gonna
you
get
bet.
deep. Gonna get all in the guts.
You should look it up and watch it.
Uh,
Uh, so
I'm gonna have to open up Pornhub for that one.
no, you don't. No, you don't. It should be on YouTube.
Probably will.
So the story is she gets with these Seraphites by accident. She gets captured,
Oh, okay.
and the Seraphites, she's about to get her guts spilled out, and these two Seraphites save her life, and so then she starts helping them, sort of like she feels like bad, I guess, like
Mhm.
guilty, because apparently, as you learn throughout the story, she's killed more Seraphites than anybody else in the wolves.
What?
Apparently, it's just sort of thrown at you at one point in the game, and you're like, "Well, I didn't feel like that."
Well, you're that lady that like took out everybody.
Yeah, you're the one with the highest kill count in our group,
That's
just
crazy.
thrown in your face. It's like they should have done a better job of showing that off. Like Abby should have been killing them, like throughout the whole storyline they had me start with. But whatever, I digress. So now you have to work with these two siblings back and forth between the two of them to absolve your own personal guilt. And while you're doing that, um, the wolves attack the Seraphites, and then you barely get away from the Seraphite island as it is burning itself to a crisp.
Oh, so that whole group is dealt with.
I mean, they're dealing with each other. Fuck them.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, yeah,
They're literally killing each other. So
yeah.
whatever. Both of those things are dead basically. And it's like, wow, that's a crazy climax. And then you go back to Seattle to discover that Ellie has killed Owen, your childhood friend slash ex-boyfriend slash maybe new boyfriend.
Was he there?
No, he's dead. He's on the ground.
No, I mean, was he in the room with the joling?
Yeah,
Of
he was
course. What
part
do
of
you
that.
expect? Well,
Of
yeah,
course,
weird.
best friends, childhood friend. What are
I
you
know.
talking about?
No, I know.
Come
It's
on.
it's like if Abby is in any way surprised by that fact, then like that character is flabbergasting.
Well, she does learn, where the people who killed them, Owen and his pregnant girlfriend.
Right.
She does learn, who killed them, where they stay at. She tracks them there, then finds out that it's Ellie, even after shooting someone in the face without even blinking and almost killing Tommy. Then she sees it's Ellie and she goes, "It's you." And it's like, dude.
What do you like? Okay, I'm gonna say this, and I'll probably be wrong, but I don't care. Everything that I have heard and seen from the ending of that game, from everything from right here and all that stuff, Abby sounds like a fucking idiot.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if she's an idiot so much
It's
as she's just not. She
I'm
doesn't do
just
her role. She doesn't play her role properly.
I'm just like, why are you surprised at anything that this girl has done in any respect that you've learned about, considering what you did to her or the people that she cared about? Why would you not? Like, you can't do that to someone and then have your reaction be, yeah, but we're even now. We're cool. We're even.
What you're supposed to do when the person who you've wronged comes back to get their revenge, you're supposed to go, oh, well, okay. Like let's just do it over here. Like
Let's
let's
just
go to the garden and do it.
listen. We need to find the wheat field or the tall grass hill with the moon hitting us,
Yeah.
and then we'll do it. But
And
like,
while you buy yourself time, because that's exactly what you're doing.
yeah,
While you buy yourself time, you're supposed to appeal to their humanity. Like, listen,
I know
I
I
got a
wronged
kid
you,
now.
but you wronged
I
me,
got
so we're cool.
I got stuff going on. Look, I'm sorry. If you could find it in what small semblance of a heart you have left to forgive me, then
How how
we'll be all good.
how is that not a revenge story? Where the person commits their revenge in front of another person that cared about the person that you killed, and then you go over to that character and go, "Listen, I had beef with them. They're dead now. I know you're upset, but we're cool, right? Like we're even.
But here's
We're
what
cool."
should have happened.
It's
Like
like,
in that moment, I think this is why I can agree with you that Abby's kind of dumb. In that moment, she should have seen Ellie and her reaction and gone, "Oh shit."
wow, it's weird how I'm doing the exact same thing that Joel did.
I
To
I was that
wow,
little
weird.
girl 3 years ago.
Like, what a fool to not like
What a
have
fool.
have the mindset or like the scope to
Not the
understand what was happening.
wherewithal. Didn't have the wherewithal to recognize
Fool.
herself on the floor.
Like,
She's like, "Oh, shit. Now I
man.
have to kill you. Fuck."
And then they fight, and then she wins, and it's like, okay, now we're even, right? Because like I beat you,
Oh, God.
so
Abby winning is definitely not the move. And and I'm thinking of it from a game that has a good rival system without even realizing it. Now, to be fair, the game took 3 or 4 games to get the rival system down like properly.
you say, what are you talking about?
Oh, don't worry. When I drop this name, you're gonna be like, "Oh,
Rival system.
the rival
You know
system."
about Lord of the Rings?
Oh no, God no.
How?
Definitely
I
not.
know about that rival system, and that's about it.
No, I'm talking about Devil May Cry.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So Devil May Cry has the rival system down now.
But
Perfectly down.
I feel like it's such a weird comparison because Virgil and Dante are like too cool with each other.
They definitely came to a point because they've been fighting for so long where they're just like, hey, you know why I'm here. you know? Like the second one shows up, the other one goes, you son
Shit,
of
I
a
got to
bitch.
style on my brother.
Like, you son of a bitch. I knew you was gonna be here. Yeah. So we don't need that, right? We don't need our characters to be cool with each other.
Right.
However, I do need that rival system when it's you got to feel it in your bones. Like your hair needs to stand up when they're nearby. And you need to go, oh my God, this is it. Like I need to be on my P's and fucking Q's so I can kill this nigga. That's how you need to feel.
You need to go into the ground.
Like I need to make sure I am ushering you into the gates of hell. That's what I need to make sure happens today.
I will be your
You feel it.
ferryman. I will be your watcher.
Exactly.
I'll make sure we get where we're going.
Yes. So they fight, and I think that they fight twice technically in the whole game. Yeah.
Yeah,
They
middle
fight
and end.
twice. One time is unearned, and the other time you have to play as Abby, and so that doesn't feel good. Bad. Both times are bad. They should have had 3 fights. Should have had 1 fight early in the game.
Yeah, Virgil 1, Virgil 2, and Virgil 3.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Those
It's the easiest equation. It's the easiest formula to follow.
revenge fights are done in threes. Come on, guys. Obviously, you lose the
still-
you lose the first one.
Got to.
You get interrupted the second one,
Got to.
and then you win the third one.
Got to.
Like,
And in this realistic approach, right? Because we're not styling on each other, right? I
Yeah.
mean, you kind of are with the Last of Us gameplay mechanics.
Listen, I'm out here trying to triple S this bitch.
Laying traps and shit, throwing bottles. Like
Oh, okay.
you are styling in that way, but you're having a realistic, gritty,
Tommy,
down
Tommy,
to
shoot
earth.
that rocket. I'll surf it.
Yeah, like a gnarly, disgusting, blood, sweat, and tears fight. Sure,
Listen,
we can have
Ellie.
that.
Ellie needs to become the party pizza woohoo man.
Ellie needs to be, but instead of being, jovial, she needs to be what the real world version of that is.
She would be
Essentially,
Virgil. Ellie would be
yeah, no,
Virgil.
essentially she's Virgil. Ellie is Virgil.
100%.
And so, like, if you want to force me to play as Abby, then just have all of her shit be like roses. Everything that she does is sweet and happy and nice to give me that juxtaposition of like Ellie being this dark, twisted, demon, essentially tearing its way across Seattle.
I opened this. I opened this tower from hell in the middle of the city to get what I need. I don't care about the people that were underneath it. That's their problem.
Ellie needs to be like power. And there's a way that you could have told the story to give us that duality of Ellie's character, whereas one side of it, she wants to be a better person. She wants to be what her and Joel were trying to become.
Right.
When they were in Jackson. She wants to have a relationship with Dina. She wants to be best friends with Jesse, which Jesse, hey, shout outs, most underrated character of the video game. She wants to be best friends with Jesse. She wants to have a good relationship with Tommy. And those things I feel like are sewed into the game. But then they just rip the sutures out. Why? For what purpose? It's for no reason. They do that. They rip the sutures out. They say, hey, this would be nice, but fuck you. And so they could have had that one side of Ellie where all those things are possible, but then this other side of her, this side of her that she keeps inside, and she has a journal, so you can give hints to that character in the journal.
Oh,
like she
I
writes
didn't know there was a
differently,
journal. If there's
Yes,
a journal, you could do whatever you wanted.
You can definitely give more, character stuff.
Yeah, the final page would just be kill Abby, kill Abby, kill Abby, kill Abby,
exactly,
like the whole time.
Where she fucking snaps.
Yeah, like this is my life.
Essentially making it so that the other side of her, that dual personality, is now the only personality. It now overshadows, the happy Ellie that we learned to love from the first game.
And you know what? If you really wanted to like show that maybe she was rethinking it a little bit, at the kill Abby phrase goes on for like 5 pages, but on the 5th one there's a question mark at the last one.
That's bad. That's goofy. That's too goofy.
Kill Abby?
I think what they should have done is they should have made it so that this is not what Joel would have wanted. And they could have shown us that through flashbacks and conversations, that even though Joel knows he did a bad thing, and he knows that the possibility of someone coming to get him is apparent, at the end of it all, he should have looked at Ellie in the face and he should have said, don't.
The worst part that I just kind of like thought about was like when right before the group jumps Joel, his brother was there, right?
Yep.
And he was being so nice.
Tommy's great.
He was being the kindest person, and then they pistol whip him like 5 times.
Oh man, I'm surprised he didn't have brain damage after that. I was
oh my god.
I was very worried for Tommy throughout this entire game, because I felt like the writers would know that I have less of an emotional connection to him. Therefore, it would be very easy to set it up in this game. Like, I would get a deeper connection with him and then kill him off. So I was really prepared for the game to kill him at almost any moment. I was like, oh, fuck. Oh, this is it. Oh, shit. I was like, no, Tommy, no. Not my uncle, too.
He was being so nice, and it's just like,
oh, my God.
How are you going to do that to him?
These monsters. And that, again, there are multiple moments where all the people that have names in the group get shown, whereas like they have, backstory and personality and, oh, look, they do this and this and, blah, blah, blah. They have friends. But they were so evil earlier.
Like, if they wanted me to care about any of those people in Abby's group that Ellie got to or whatever, they should have showed some level of like indifference or distaste for what was happening in the other room.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that none of them, that they were fine with it, that they didn't show any level of, like, maybe this isn't cool that we're doing this. Like, yeah, go fuck yourselves. Like, how do you want me
Like,
to, why do you want me to care for you? Are you serious?
there should
Oh,
have
I'm
been
sorry.
a
Oh,
moment.
no.
I think periodically throughout the game, you should have just been hunting them down one by one, and
Oh, man.
there should have been moments where each of them are like, "I'm glad we did it. Fuck that guy," and then you're like, "Oh, thanks," and then you
Yeah,
blow
like,
their head
at
off.
least some level of justification.
Yeah, give me something. Give me something, man.
You
Like
were pregnant and beating up and helped beat up Joel? Oh, you're going to get it.
hey, I'm coming for you. And like, I think Ghost of Tsushima does it better with this like character who's supposed to be dead, which maybe they should have left, Ellie for dead, and to have her like fight her way back to full health and beyond that, like she should have had more muscle. I think
The Remnant.
The Remnant.
The movie?
I didn't see that movie. Oh, you mean
Oh.
Revenant?
Yeah, sorry. Wait, what did I say?
The Remnant.
Oh, my bad. I'm thinking about the game.
Not only did I not see the movie, but also
Wrong title.
the wrong thing.
Damn it. Anyway, The Revenant.
Yeah.
That's
You saw that one?
Yeah, I like that movie a lot.
Oh, okay. All right. I haven't seen that. I should give that a watch sometime.
Basically, man gets left for dead. Like, he gets caught by a bear, gets nipped on a little bit, lives, and then makes his way all the way to, like, the base camp, and then just goes... No, not even. The bear's dead. I think he kills it.
Oh, my God.
But there were two people who were with him who were like, "No, we gotta go. We can't help him with the bear. We should just leave him." And they leave him.
Mm.
And then he makes it to the camp, and the expedition leader just starts beating the hell out of one of the dudes that left him.
Oh, shit. What
And
a twist.
And it's like, yeah, that makes sense. But he was beating up the one that was actually sorry about it. He didn't want to. He was like the kid of one of the people that did leave. It's a good story. It's long though. It's like 2 hours. Doesn't need to be 2 hours, but it is.
Oh, okay. Well, I definitely do think I should give it a watch sometime.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
worth a watch.
I think the Ghost of Tsushima does it better, where you leave your character for dead, and that was your big mistake. They thought he was dead, to their credit.
They always do.
But he was not, and boy,
Never
boy,
is.
they should have looked for a body. They really should have looked for a body, because he goes tearing across Tsushima, destroying all of their camps, undoing everything that they pushed the Japanese army back.
Yeah, Mongols were crazy like that.
Yeah, they pushed them back to the end of Tsushima, the very bottom of the island.
Do you beat
and
that
so the
game?
whole game you have to no.
Okay.
I've been watching Wooly, shout out Wooly versus. I've been watching Wooly play it on YouTube.
I think I'm just gonna wait for a best of, to be honest.
That's fine. It's enjoyable to see like different stories and stuff. There's a lot of revenge in the story.
Yeah, that's what it seems
Revenge
like.
was big. Revenge was big back then.
Back then.
Yeah, you were a piece of shit if you let somebody get away with killing one of your own. Like, people talk bad about you.
Nah, we're gonna get them.
So yes. So I'm gonna throw something else in the group chat here.
What the fuck?
This isn't really what happens, right? There's not a QTE for the sex scene.
I figured, but that's pretty funny.
There should have been. As long as that shit went on for, I feel like I
it was
should
long.
have had some sort of. It wasn't okay. It wasn't long like a real gratuitous sex scene would be in a movie. They did cut the scene. However,
okay.
It went on longer than I would have liked, and this is your camera angle.
Oh, that
they put you in her face while she's getting railed from behind, and I don't want to be in her face. It makes me feel like a cuck. Like I'm.
It's like. Have you ever watched Funhouse before?
Of course, Funhouse is one of my top.
Yes. So there's those when they play those sex games out of nowhere.
Oh yeah.
And then, but the game just ends up being them jerking off some dude.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I don't want to be this character in this situation.
I don't want to suck this dick. Why do they make me do this?
I didn't ask for
Yeah,
this. Why didn't I get a choice here?
that's basically how it feels. Now there's no QTE, but if they had done that, then that would have, I don't know,
That
that would
would
have
have been.
cinched it for me.
I do
Uh,
enjoy the fact that there's 2 circles and then a square and a triangle. There's no X.
X is coming. X is for the X
Oh
is for
yeah, it
climax.
is. Oh yeah, it is.
R2,
Ugh. I gotta
the
click in.
shoot button.
No man, you gotta click in the sticks.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
No,
So
no,
anyway,
you have to shake the controller like a bottle.
oh Jesus. Oh
You gotta get the
Jesus.
motion controls in there
Diabolical. The scene, I don't know how long the scene was, but
long
it
enough.
felt too long. And also it was very heterosexually toxic the way that they actually started.
What do you mean?
They were like kind of in a little bit of a scuffle. They were kind of being rough with each other.
Oh,
And they started making out, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, like that's not. I don't like that.
like they
That's
were
not
throwing
good.
hands or like?
Well, they didn't like physically hit each other yet,
Oh,
but they were
yeah.
grabbing each other, in an aggressive manner.
No, I'm gonna be
And
on
I'm
top.
like,
No, I'm gonna be.
that's not how. I don't know. I don't like that in terms of heterosexual, uh, intercourse. I don't like that as a catalyst for romance at all.
Abby's
That's
trying to
not
show
a
off
good.
guns.
Like there's a lot to be said about how much each character wants to do this. This is not the way to do it.
Okay.
That's my main issue with the scene. Like outside of the lingering, cuck cam that they gave me. They really did. They really forced me into a cuck's position. And I don't know why. What did I do? What did I do to deserve to be cucked?
I don't know. I feel like this is something we touched on earlier, but like, there. I feel like for a game like Last of Us 2, even the first one a little bit, I feel like there's not enough actual choice.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's a little too on rails.
That's 100% right. There is
I don't
too
know.
much that you cannot choose to do. There are so many things that you just don't get to choose to do. And holy moly, that's not how video games work.
I don't know. Like I've been recently playing the BioShock games. I went through 1 and 2, and I feel like there are at least like some level of reason why your character is doing what they're doing. But the second game actually gives you choices. Like you met this person, they kind of like maybe they kind of fucked you over in the past, and now it's now, and you can choose to like forgive them or take them out. And that's even in that game, there's some level of choice. So this game having none at all is like fairly surprising. What is this?
Link to the scene, I believe.
Yeah, Abby and Owen
You should give it
sex
a
scene.
watch. You should give it a watch.
I'll watch it later.
You don't have to do it right now. Yeah, you don't have to do it right now, but you should give it a watch just to see what I'm talking about. Like if you like, I'm a big time movie guy. Big time movie guy. I analyze and critique movies like crazy, even movies that are bad. I always try to find the good. And something that I do critique is gratuitous scenes, where it's gratuitous violence. Then your point needs to be that it's gratuitous, and then at the end we should have no more, right? Or if it's gratuitous sex, okay, either we get this over with and we never return to it, or
The characters are ashamed they did it.
yeah, I mean that works too when everyone feels bad.
Heat of the moment, stressful situations just kind of happened.
Right. But the reason why I don't like to use the word gratuity for this scene is because there's no sex in the thing at all, right? And gratuitous, it implies the word excessive.
Yeah, like A for if there was, this game would be A for adults.
Right. If there were 2 or 3 sex scenes, then we would have an issue. But there aren't. It's technically only the one. The only other time that there's some sort of implied sex is with Ellie and Dina, and they mostly make out and then the scene ends.
Okay, that's fair.
The difference here being that we had to watch her take off her clothes. They're making out. We had to watch him turn her around and bend her over and put her face right in my face. We had to watch him pull her pants down and his own pants down. And then we had to watch a few thrusts before the scene ended. That's too much.
That's a lot.
I get That's a lot to force me to watch with no lead up, no build up whatsoever.
No skip button.
I never had the feeling that they were gonna have sex at any point in this game. So why are they doing it now?
Oh, really? There's no like tension or anything?
No,
Oh, that's
because
weird.
in the game it's implied that, well, not implied, it's shown to you that they used to date when they were younger. Um, in fact, they started liking each other when her father was alive, which is 3 years prior. Um, and then they dated after he had died. They stopped dating for a reason, probably because Abby was too involved with the revenge.
Right. Okay.
In the story, that they're not really allowed to be romantic because she's like revenge, 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 revenge.
I gotta go kill this dude.
Yeah, and so Owen's like, okay, he just sort of backs off from her. That's totally respectable. Why are they fucking now though? Like right now, Owen has a pregnant girlfriend. I'm assuming this is his girlfriend. Girl, he got pregnant.
Wait,
I'm assuming it's his girlfriend.
So he's cheating on the person he's with Abby?
Basically, you could you could say that.
That's
because it's not something you would tell her that happened, right?
Right. Yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah. So he's got that going on, and right now he's also talking about abandoning the wolves and leaving to go and get with the fireflies. He's talking about, I'm trying to get out of here. He's basically talking about abandoning the baby, the unborn child.
Wow, what a piece of shit. Perfect for Abby.
Right. I feel no sympathy for him.
Yeah.
He's a monster.
Man,
he's
fuck all these people. What does this game want from me?
What does this game want from me? And then they say, look,
the ending is the ending, and then you're giving me all these reasons to not like these people or not to even forgive them in any way, and then you expect me to like be satisfied with that ending or at least care about the ending at all? That's weird.
Various reasons to not feel bad for any of the people who get shot. Not to mention Owen and Mel, the girl who got pregnant. You've already killed them.
Right.
You've already killed them at this point in the game. So you're just watching them pre their deaths. For what?
Oh, this is a flashback?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's even weirder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is a flashback. This is prior to him dying.
That's
like a few days prior, if anything.
That's a weird one.
Like, yeah, it's real whack. So there's that, and then let's see, the sex scene just goes on, like it lingers and the camera lingers too much, and that's something I heard from a good critique. The camera lingers on a lot of this stuff too much. Like when you murder people in really grotesque ways, the camera lingers too much.
Yeah, there's a lot of the reviews or like stuff that I've read. A lot of people are like, we get it, it's violent.
Yeah, I got it.
Like the game's too long for you to be lingering every single time it happens.
Yeah, the game is forcing you to look what you did. Like I'm a bad puppy who shit on the carpet. Like you forced me to do that.
You didn't really give me the option to knock him out.
And sometimes there are occasions where they're like, you can avoid conflict, altogether. I played on hard, which I maybe should have played on normal. I don't know, but I played on hard, and I basically had to kill everybody in almost every encounter. There were too many people. I felt like to like slink by them. Even when I was doing good with my what do you call it, my stealth?
Yeah.
Either a dog, there would be dogs, which you kind of can't get away from without killing them, because once they get your scent, it's just a matter of time before they find you.
Right.
So you need to put some sort of trap down, or I guess maybe you could throw something, but I don't think that would get them off your trail. It's like there's stuff like that where it's like there's a lot of stealth options, like crouching and going prone in the tall grass. Tall grass is a great feature added to the game. There's a lot of sections like that, and only a few of them can you get out of it without killing people. And like I said, maybe I should have played on normal. Maybe there would have been less enemies. But every time I was in an encounter, I was like, oh, I can't get past these people. Every time I turn a corner, there's another person. Or I leave a room and someone's entering the room I just entered. Okay, so I go back to the room I just came from. Oh, somebody's also entering that room. Where am I supposed to go?
Yeah, that ain't great. That doesn't sound...
So, yeah. Maybe I should have played on normal, but That's how I felt. I couldn't get past, any of the obstacles without conflict.
Well, even so, like the conflict at a certain point isn't even that big a deal because it's not like the game changes your character in any way depending on how many people you kill. It's not like Dishonored where the ending changes based on how many people that you've murdered and all that stuff.
Mhm.
It's
And there are moments where they could have done that.
it comes back to the choice thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like this game should have had so much more choice,
Way more choice.
and they just
Holy
didn't.
crap.
They didn't care enough, or they wanted to tell a very specific story. But the interactivity of games kind of makes linear on rail stories not great.
Less entertaining. Less
It
fun.
it depends on the story, I'd say. I think there's some that like can do it well. Ghost of Tsushima may be a good example because you're playing that right now or watching it.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot to do and a lot of
Lot
like
to do.
a lot of things to influence, but at the same time, you're still playing a story with a singular conclusion. I'm
True.
imagining.
That's true. As far as right now is concerned, I don't know,
Yeah,
but it's pretty singular. Um,
like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, because I just beat that, so I can use that as a reference. I got like the worst ending. I'm fairly certain. I got like what I will call the Greek tragedy ending, which isn't great. I'm not going to replay through it again.
everybody die.
Well, spoilers for the end of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but that game's older than Last of Us 2. The ending that I got was so you know how you can play as either the brother or sister character.
Didn't know that actually. I didn't know there were multiple characters to play as.
There's
And
only
honestly,
two. It doesn't really change anything other than like the twist is there's a giant cult that's like controlling Greece basically, and the character like the brother. If you play as the brother, the sister is like the hero of the cult basically. Like they're the problem solver, and if you play as the sister, it's the brother. And
okay.
the ending of the game is you go through the game, you're like tearing down key members of the cult to get to your family member to get them back to bring them back over. And the ending that I got was you and your mom go up to this mountaintop where you were thrown off as a baby. And
Wow.
well, because of the Spartan thing. Oh, there was like
Yeah.
there was like a prophecy, and like so that's what had to happen.
Okay, so Odyssey is about Romans.
Isn't it the Greeks?
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. Greeks are. I don't know. I
Sorry.
never played any Assassin's Creed. I'm just trying to figure out which one's which.
Yeah, Odyssey's the Greeks, and that's I mean
Which one's Origins? That's the one
Egypt.
where they go to.
Egypt.
Yeah, okay. Egypt is the one that I'm actually interested in.
Okay, fair enough.
The only one I'm interested in. Go on. Go on. I'm listening.
But basically, you have a conversation with the sister because you basically beaten the cult. I still need to go back through and like actually do kill all the cult members to see the secret final person. And you have your conversation with the sister, and like you have conversation things you can say, and I'm picking the ones that I think are the best. And then the mother goes over to the sister, and she's like, "Oh man, what have I done?" And then she kills the mom, and then she's like, "Haha, I'm still evil." And then it's like you have to kill your sister, and it's the ending is you basically on your knees yelling to the heavens with your dead mom and sister flanking you, and it's like, I didn't get a good ending. I got the bad ending, and
That's tough stuff.
I don't know what I did wrong other than like maybe conversation decisions because I felt like I did a lot of the content, so I don't think it's content linked. Like, I don't think you need to kill a certain number of cultists to decrease the influence on your sister.
Wouldn't that be something? Or like kill certain cultists, like specific cultists.
I
That
got
would be cool.
so many people. Well, the thing is,
I think that says a lot too, like about the games that we're both talking about.
Hmm.
The lack of choice, and then at the end, it's like you fucked up.
I would say in terms of, I think in most games that's an issue, but in terms of games like Odyssey, those games are too big or too long to have multiple endings. Because I don't want to go back through.
Disagree.
I don't want to go back through Odyssey again, man. It's too long.
Well, no, no. You don't need to go. You don't need to go and play through a big ass game again. And I don't intend on playing this game again.
Right.
Mostly because I don't have any choices. But like, there are moments. Like you just need moments. You don't have to do it.
Yeah.
like inherently based on the amount of characters that you've killed, because it should be guaranteed that you're going to kill
A
people,
lot of
right?
people, especially
It's
in
not
those games.
right. It's not Metal Gear Solid where you can kill nobody, which yeah, good luck with that. Um, but like you're making the decision to kill people. Or maybe it should be as Ellie you kill people and as Abby you don't. Or you try not to, you know?
Right.
But either or, there should be chunks of game where it's like, this is where you make an important decision. And this is where you make an important decision. And those decisions in a little tree, much like Shadow the Hedgehog, should lead you to the end of the game where you're like, all right, I made such and such decisions. Now I'm on the evil side. I'm on the dark path.
Hey man, maybe sometimes these hedgehogs gotta have guns.
Hey,
What are you
put the
gonna do?
gun. Hey, you got to shoot them.
They gotta
They
go.
gotta go. So the end of this game, I think this is probably a good place to try to wrap it up. The end of this game forces you to do something that you should have done 6 hours prior.
This is so. For context, I guess for the people that haven't played it, if anybody listens to this, it's Abby has been crucified for some reason. She got caught by the
Mhm.
by the rattlers,
Rattlers. That's right.
and she's been crucified on the beach. And then you go and you bring her down, and then you untie the person she was with. Then you have a sick fight in the water.
Yeah, in some shallow water, you force her to fight you.
Yeah,
Ellie
Ellie does it.
forces her
Ellie forces her.
to fight you.
Yeah, let's not like yeah. Ellie's not a good person in this scene, 100%.
100%. But the forcement,
Yeah,
the force is what's killing me.
yeah. It's the I don't want to fight you. Puts knife to unconscious
Yeah.
individual's
Yep.
throat. Nah, you're gonna do this.
Come on. And like from a storytelling standpoint, when a character has been tortured by the world, the antagonist, let's say,
Yeah.
and the universe has decided their time is up and decides to make them pay for all the bad things they've done, that's the point for your character, the person wanting revenge, to go, oh, I guess that's it.
Yeah, you know
I
what?
guess, I
I
guess
didn't
I
even
should
think
go home.
I didn't even think about it like that. The fact that she puts the knife to someone who's unconscious and then goes, "Nah, you're going to fight me." Wins the fight, but then goes, "Nah, I can't do it." Is really weird how she had a moment of
Stupid.
clarity like 30 seconds later.
It's stupid and it's too late. And when I said this part of the game should have happened 6 hours earlier, 6 hours earlier, it would have made more sense.
Yeah.
Outside of Ellie going and living with Dina and having little baby JJ and all that would have made more sense. Outside of fucking Abby and Lev, the little boy she's with, getting captured and tortured, it would have made more sense.
Did they just get captured for like because they were in their territory, or was there actually like a reason?
Literally wrong place, wrong time.
Okay.
Or right place, wrong time. Literally.
That's okay.
Bullshit.
Why were they there? Because they were in like
'Cause
that.
they
The
went
Rattlers
up
are like in what? Like a completely different state, right?
They're in California. The end of the game takes place in California,
Oh,
which,
okay.
like I said, should have happened 6 hours earlier. I would have played 6 hours in California. That would have been amazing.
Yeah. They
The
they
arcade, like
they hit
the
the beach
environment
and then
is
the
different.
Rattlers hit them in the head.
Sure, the environment is different, which means that they did a bunch of work to make this environment, only to not really use it that much, only to put you on one path throughout this environment,
That's
one direction you can go. They made the easiest level they could make, basically, with better like geography in my mind. You have to think of the uh, uh, earthquakes that would have happened. You have to think about the various hills that exist in California. There's hills all over. There's all
yeah. There's a
sorts
lot
of
more work there than I
elevation
thought.
changes. There's a lot of stuff there.
Yeah.
And then you got to think about the different types of internal environments, like the houses and the buildings and the restaurants there's all these things you could have made, but they decided, meh, let's just give it the illusion that we made all that shit and send you through this one track line, through all this pretty stuff we made, and then boop, end of the game.
Ugh.
Uh, so that's another reason why I like the last level, because it was a different environment.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
Um, so the Ellie that exists on the cover of The Last of Us is never given to us throughout the entire game.
It's not
This
honest,
version of,
I guess you'd say.
I guess, yeah. Honestly, there's actually one scene that I do want to talk about real fast.
Hmm.
There's one scene where that character it might exist, but she doesn't exist in any other part of the game.
Oh.
It's this one scene where she chases this girl Nora through a hospital.
Okay.
Yeah, you chase her through a hospital. Then you guys get cornered. Behind you, there are spores and infected,
Right.
different level of the hospital. And in front of you, there are people with guns pointed at you. So Ellie makes the smartest decision she can make, and
She
she throws
runs.
her and Nora into the hole.
Right, because she doesn't got to worry about it.
Exactly. Best decision. Smartest, coolest decision. Throws them both in the hole, but Nora still gets away. Now she's infected, but she gets away, so she's hiding because there's also, infected in this level.
Right. Right.
And now you're down there, and then the people with the guns follow you in the hole, which
Okay.
is like, shit. They had gas masks. Of course
Okay.
they had fucking gas masks.
That makes sense.
But, they don't know what just happened. Like they saw Nora go into a hole, and to them, that's death, right? So them following you is sort of like a lost cause. They might as well just leave. But they don't. Instead, they decide to look for you. And there's some cool moments in the game where you can wake up infected,
Oh.
and they'll fight either you or the people you have in the room with you.
Whoever's closest, I
So,
guess.
yeah, whoever they can hear. So, you can do that, or you can just try to slink your way through the room. The game kind of forces you to do that. So, you do that. Anyway, after that little encounter, you find Nora, and she's, getting more and more infected in some corner somewhere.
Right.
And she's like, "Oh, you're her. You're the girl from 3 years ago." And you're like, "Yeah." And you're going to tell me where Abby is, or else. And she's like, "Whatever, I'm already dead." She's like, "No, but I can make it worse.
I can do what you did to Joel.
I can make it worse." And so she proceeds to do that, which
Right. I mean,
I have one problem. On one hand, I did not choose for her to do that.
okay. Yes. Yeah.
And on the other hand, that is kind of the version of Ellie that I wanted from the beginning of the game. Like the version who is like, I don't care. I just want revenge. Like I'll do anything to get it. That's the version of Ellie that we should have been given. And we should have been given a version of Abby that was more likable for sure. Like Ellie was. And maybe instead of showing us that she's the one who did the torture, she's the one who did the murder, instead of showing us all that stuff so early, maybe we could have gotten to know Abby a little bit more first.
Right. I don't know. No matter what, I don't know how much I would really like Abby. They'd have to rewrite that whole thing pretty much.
No, there's definitely, you'd have to change her a lot, but that's what they should be doing. They should be putting a lot of work on that person. And Ellie, it should be easy to just make her more and more evil. Not vengeful, but like actually becoming evil, essentially. That dark side of her, that alternate personality, should be bubbling up and getting stronger and stronger. Every time she brutally takes someone down, that part of her should be like, good.
Yeah, right after she tortures Nora, she just goes, "Nah, I'm a little motivated."
Yeah, she should be like, "Oh, I'm glad I did that." Like, oof, I could sleep like a baby now.
Starts dropping Virgil taunts.
Yeah, like power. Like she should be becoming more and more evil. Justify to me, the player, that, oh, I'm the bad guy. Even though I was
jackpot.
wronged. Yeah, even though I was wronged early on, I'm becoming the bad guy.
I'm starting to kind of like it.
But then give me choices. Give me choices. Like give me a choice when it comes to things that don't involve Abby and Ellie. I feel like you should always play as Ellie against Abby, unless, like, okay, we talked about the Virgil, formula, right?
Yeah.
So the first fight, you play as Ellie, you lose. Totally fine. The second fight, you should play as Abby, and you should win. Thus showing one more time that, or get interrupted, as you said.
Yeah,
right?
I think the interruption is like
It's better.
they were in a draw or going to be, but then the world happens around them and they have to stop.
I disagree with that one part.
Mm.
Not that they would be in a draw, but that Abby is going to win. But
Yeah,
then they
okay.
get interrupted anyway.
Yeah, you can imply it.
Yeah, like set it up so that Abby is like basically about to punch Ellie through a wall. Like she's like wound up right behind Ellie, right? Ellie's like she's playing the part of an NPC, so she's like, "Where are you?" Looking around, which is basically how the boss fight plays out in the game.
Oh.
Yeah, you have to sneak up behind her and then start beating her up with your big arms and your
What?
muscles. Yeah, it's diabolical. But I'm fine with that being the thing because I'll still feel conflicted, right?
I feel like she
But
wouldn't have needed
instead
to do
of,
all that just to win that fight.
I mean, Ellie has her whole gear.
Oh,
Abby
okay.
has no gear.
Okay,
Abby
yeah,
has
you know what,
no
fine.
bottles
No
and sneak around. So if she jumps out from the open, she'll just get her head blown off.
Yeah, and then the game ends, and that's the proper way to end it.
Right, that's what you wanted, right?
Yeah, it's just no. You play as Abby, and if you just keep running out and let Ellie kill you, the game just ends.
The game's actually over.
Yeah, it's like a fail state. It's like it's very clear you don't want to keep playing this game as this character, so sure, we'll just let it in there.
All right, you win. Credits.
All right, goodbye. Clap.
Nah.
Just hands.
So they should have had a fight, and Abby should have been wound up, Wonder Punch fist,
Doing deadly combos onto Ellie.
exactly, ready to punch Ellie through a wall, like a cinder block wall
In the forest.
wherever. I don't care where, because their fight takes place in a theater.
Oh. Okay. Never mind.
So just punch her like totally. You know where you punch somebody so hard they leave their ground. They leave the ground and they land.
They
and
leave
they're
their
unconscious.
ground. What they know.
Like they're unconscious before they hit the ground.
Oh, okay, yeah.
One
Real
of those
bad
punches.
stuff. That's real bad.
Yeah. But that's what she should have been wound up ready to do. And then maybe Dina or Lev gets involved, Or, and this is something that I really wanted for their last fight, let's say, where you play as Ellie again, and you're even more motivated to win. In their last fight, there should be a moment where you're about to kill Mel, Abby's pregnant friend. Like straight up about to slit her throat, because at this point, Ellie has transcended humanity. She has thrown her humanity away.
She has descended humanity.
Yeah. She said, "This shit is holding me back." She threw her humanity away.
I gotta start doing crimes.
I gotta start being evil, and like cast her in shadow in devilishly red light all the time. I don't care. Make her look as evil as possible. Give me that picture on the box.
Okay.
Give me that version of Ellie, because that expression that she gave me, that expression is the expression of a dangerous animal.
The box art should have just been a screen cap from the game.
Yeah. That expression is the expression of someone you cornered, who cornering them was bad for you. Like, I cornered a wolf. Oh shit, it's a wolf, Like that's what it should feel like. I finally cornered you, you animal, and then you go, "Oh, wait a minute.
Wait, I can't win this."
And then she bites your hand off, like, Like that's what should have happened. She should have gotten to that point where people are like, "Ellie, you need to stop." And she looks at them with these eyes that are like, "If you get in my way, I'll kill you too." And that is woof. That is so far over the deep end. It's like, that's perfect. Because with that character, she is actively destroying her relationships so that she can get something as petty as revenge.
Right.
And at this point, everyone agrees it's petty.
Yeah, everybody knows
At this point, everyone's like, you know what? We give up.
Ellie, it ain't really worth it anymore.
At that point in the game, Tommy can be injured. Tommy can be like, "I was wrong. I don't have what it takes and I have a life that I need to live. I have a wife,
It's
I
it's
have
it's
a
really
dog.
petty of that character to lose and then go to Ellie and say, "Hey, maybe I hurt you's over here."
Yeah, to
Like
throw her back in danger. Fuck you.
that like
Fuck you,
Tommy, I
Tommy.
like you. You seem like a nice guy, but I can't really let you ride on that one.
Yeah.
That
And
one's bad.
to piggyback on that transformation that I wanted. I have to burp. Oh god, it's like stuck in my throat. Excuse me. Ew. I burp all the time. Ew. It's indicative of my diet. Um, so you can have that Tommy moment earlier on. You know, have that moment very early on in the game, and then afterwards you have him all punished. Punished. It's,
Punish Tommy.
it's a very perfect word to use. And he's missing an eye, and he's got a limp, and he's in pain every day. Yeah, that version of Tommy has already paid his dues. He's already learned his lesson. Revenge is not the way. He's learned the lesson.
For
And
him.
over time, yes, for him. And over time, he's like, you know what? Let me go stop Ellie because something tells me she's not going to quit. So in that version of Punish Tommy, he should have gone to Ellie and he should have said, I know what you're thinking. I've been paying attention. I've been watching. I've been seeing. I've been talking to the people you've been talking to. I know you're thinking about going after her, and I'm here to tell you, don't. And then, like I said before, if you had trickled in little pieces of Joel throughout the story that symbolizes that A, he is okay with dying if he has to, and B, if the people Karma, let's say, if Karma came to get him, he's also going to be like, yeah, okay. Joel should have been the character that we talked about a little while ago, who, when you show up for your revenge, he goes, okay, do you mind if we do it outside? You know what I
He
mean?
seems like the
Joel
type.
should have been that person.
Like Abby probably didn't need all those people to jump Joel. I think he
Not you.
would have. I think he would have been not fine with it, but understanding.
Yeah. He should have had an awkward moment with Ellie, with Abby present so that Ellie can see her face and, see what's going on. And then they should have left. In that awkward moment, he could have said things like serious things, like I love you and stuff like that. Things so that, he's saying goodbye essentially without saying it. And then
Right.
him and Abby should have gone off, out of Jackson. They should have gone off to like a sunset. And they should have
Nice
talked.
vista.
Yeah, they should have talked throughout the journey, this short journey. They should have talked. And after all that talking, she should have said, I'm going to kill you anyway, but, I hope you understand why and blah, blah, blah. And he should have taken all of the grit out of her revenge by going with her, by saying that, A, he doesn't regret what he did. And B, he understands that she has to do what she has to do. And those two things, she should have been like, well, what? No, you're supposed to be mad. Like, you're supposed to be, come on. And he's like, nah, man, I've lived a long life and I've done a lot of bad shit. So,
Like the whole
okay.
thing of the revenge is like, I feel like it's a whole character setter of like, I'm never going to like this character. Is at the beginning when Joel goes, just hurry up and get on with it. And then she just says, you don't get to make that choice. And then starts beating him with the golf club.
Yeah, they made her unforgivable
It's
way
like,
too early.
You can't walk that back.
You can't walk that back. And they
matter,
tried.
No matter what, you can't walk that back.
For 12 hours of gameplay, they tried to walk that back.
And then you go.
And it didn't work.
Yeah, and then the average person goes, this is neat. I'm going to murder you.
I'm still on that one track path because we still identify with Ellie. There is no reason for us to stop identifying with Ellie.
Oh, man, I'm going to send you a video real quick.
Oh, please. There's no reason at all for us to stop identifying with Ellie. So when the moment comes along for you to either get your revenge or for some stupid reason play as Abby against Ellie, you don't feel like, oh, this is good. This is right. Instead you feel like, well, what the fuck? Like you feel confused and upset.
Warning,
you're like, what? No, because
video contains spoilers from the
because you're like, I wanted to kill her this whole time. Like, why are you making it game over if she dies? That's what I wanted this whole time.
There you go.
Let's see. Ooh, I love the Keith crew. I'll definitely give that a look.
This is a good one because it's definitely It's what you think it is.
Okay, good. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Okay, we probably got
Um,
to stop pretty soon.
oh yeah, no, we're wrapping up right now. I
Okay.
promise.
Okay.
Make sure you watch that sex scene now. Um, yeah. So basically, what the moment where you get to Virgil 3 should have been after, Ellie's friends have gotten ample time to prove that they deserve to live, but instead prove that they didn't. So that when you play as Ellie and you go and kill them, you don't feel bad in any way, shape, or form. You feel like great. I'm glad I killed
Yeah,
you.
there's something to that where it's like I guess they want you to be empathetic, but a lot of people aren't gonna feel that for these people. Like,
One of them spit on Joel's dead body.
yeah, fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy.
I don't know, like, it's a
I'm
weird,
waiting for my chance to spit on him. Why would you take that from me?
it's a weird thing of like, yeah, look, these are just regular people, and they're just going through life, and you should feel something for them, and then you take a step back and you look at what happened to one person from a crew of people, and go, yeah, no, what?
Mm-mm.
Why would you? Like, stop trying to make me want to walk it back when I'm
Right.
I'm
I
not.
don't.
I know
I'm actively choosing not to. And that again,
it's
that works in favor of you, the player, if the game gave you choices and if they made Ellie a demon, you would feel doubled down because Ellie is chosen, right? She's chosen. And as you play the game, you're supposed to make your own choice. Do you want to get your revenge? By showing you these characters who basically are irredeemable,
yeah.
that would give you, the player, the feeling of, oh yeah, I doubled down too.
That's true.
Me and Ellie would be on the same page.
I feel like there's also something to the fact that Ellie's still completely immune, and they don't really touch on it again.
Well, I think it's said or stated, at least I think in this game, that apparently Abby's dad, he was the doctor who was going to do the surgery. First person.
Oh, okay.
He's the whole reason for all this. So he was the only one who could have done the surgery and the research, I guess.
Huh.
Which I find kind of hard to believe that there are no other
The
scientists
only guy.
in the world. Now, maybe, they're operating in a very small, sector of the world, but there's nobody else.
That's kind of crazy.
That's kind of crazy. And there's no other immune people. It had to be this one white chick from America. Are you sure? Are you sure?
I feel like The Last of Us 3 is not going to take place in the U.S.
I don't even know if they deserve a 3.
I don't think they're going to do a 3. I don't think they should do a 3. I don't think they have anything to tell.
I mean, they kind of messed it up. They kind of messed it up. Like, I don't know if I even want a 3.
I just don't think there's another story to tell.
I mean, this game makes it like branch off so that they could make a 3, but it would have to be about Abby.
Ugh.
Yeah. And that's, again, another reason why they didn't do it right. Like, Abby living is not my issue. I do not have a problem with Abby living. It's the way that we got to it that pisses me off.
That's fair.
It's the way we got there. Ellie should have been a demon. At the end of this whole shit,
Demon time.
There's a moment where Abby almost kills Dina, who is pregnant. And she's right before she slits her throat, like Ellie goes, stop, she's pregnant. And then Abby makes this really evil face. And she goes, good. And I'm like, oh my God, that's what Ellie should have done. She almost does it. She literally almost slits Dina's throat in front of Abby.
Wow.
And I'm thinking,
what a redeemable character.
That's what fucking Ellie should have done.
How? I don't understand like the writing of this. I don't understand the writing of this game where you have the person you're supposed to empathize with then go good and then do it. And then I don't understand how I'm supposed to care about her. Yeah, Ellie did it, but that's to be expected.
By accident.
Oh yeah. Hey, she didn't know. Wait, what?
Yeah, no, so she didn't know the girl was pregnant.
Right.
In that little encounter they had. She was with Owen and Mel. and she shot Owen because he made a move on her,
Right.
and then she ended up, I think, stabbing Mel in the neck because she made a move on her as well after shooting Owen.
Shouldn't have
But
done
it's
that.
like she had no idea that ML was pregnant, and when she found out, she fucking damn near threw up because obviously Dina's pregnant, and that's giving her, that's hurting her brain,
Yeah. I feel like if Ellie knew, she probably wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, because Ellie has too much humanity. She has too much humanity at this point in the
That's
game.
such a weird sequence to have the person you're supposed to be empathizing with be completely fine with murdering someone who's pregnant completely knowingly.
Yeah, that's
and then
the wrong.
and then the person you just beat up, the person you just beat up who you've also been playing as didn't want to but didn't know.
Yeah,
And then go, yeah, wow, it's weird how Ellie is getting more and more justified as I play this game.
yeah, but they keep forcing me to play as Abby.
It's like, I don't know, man. This doesn't sound great.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say this game is particularly good, unfortunately, and it's like 100% due to the story. The gameplay is fine. I just wish the camera didn't linger so long on, the brutality of it.
Yeah.
I already know that I'm killing all these people in horrific ways. I already know. You don't need to remind me.
I feel like there's a certain level to the reason they did that is because they're finally getting more and more critiqued for the Uncharted thing where Nathan Drake has killed like millions of people
Yeah,
over the course of his games, and now they're kind of going, oh yeah, we kind of make our characters kill like a lot of people for almost no reason.
yeah, but guess what? Now they have the reason. They have the ability to justify it,
It's not great.
and then they didn't. They just didn't.
Okay, I
Instead,
think we
they
gotta
made me
stop.
force about it. I think.
About
I think I'm
about
okay.
2 hours.
Yeah, I think I'm okay with stopping there. Like I said, I have the most to say about the game, but I feel like I've said everything, especially about Ellie not being the character I wanted her to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she should have been a demon. Instead, they gave me, I don't know, Ellie.
Not a train wreck, but not very good. That's for sure.
Not a train wreck, but
Subpar.
subpar.
From what I'm
Disappointing.
hearing, subpar and or disappointing.
It's a disappointment.
Okay.